coffee?
Cup of coffee, fantastic idea. Did you have another question? I mean, I was born in the 50s, so when I grew up, there's certain things were required of young men. Growing up out of time, out of place. I was a weird geek as a kid, in the wrong place. I grew up in the north of England, and I wasn't into football, and I wasn't into fighting. I think dealing with that feeling of being out of place, dealing with the aggression I experienced in the world around me, and I was into animals and plants and nature, and I was studying sort of university books on fungi and botany and all sorts of things. So being out of place in that kind of way was quite demanding. And various incidents. I mean, my father died when I was 17. I arrived in London when I was about 18 and struggled with the way I hadn't grieved my father's death properly. So in my initial attempts to try and process all that were things like with marijuana and cannabis and alcohol. And then when I finally figured out what I was doing in terms of trying to anaesthetize some feelings, I tried with food for a while. I was bulimic for about 10 years. So I had to deal with all of that. And through the practices of yoga and meditation, I managed to resolve that. I wasn't into therapy at the time. And yoga and meditation, things like that were really, really helpful in terms of facilitating quite rapid healing at times. The kind of practices where you can really feel into your body and the kind of practices where you can dissolve yourself. And ultimately, meditation, I think, is one of its best qualities, is that you can dissolve yourself. And then, of course, that's a very creative space, because then you can constantly change and be new.